Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Rogue Company video. Today I'm going to be covering the top 10 best Rogue Company tips throughout the entire game. These are backed by pro players, people who have been playing the game since it's released, and of course myself. Before we do begin, be sure to subscribe for more daily informative and awesome Rogue Company content. Now, let's start. Tip number 1 is aiming for that head and getting those critical hits. The headshot multiplier in Rogue Company is useful in both head-on situations and flanking situations, and you should definitely spend some time to get better at it, so when you're in a game, you're downing people in mere seconds. Tip number 2 is going to be picking up some perks. Many new players often overlook the perk system and go for the weapons and gadgets, when in reality, the perks in this game are some of the stronger utilities you can buy. Many rogues have perks specific to them, just like how Kestrel is currently the only rogue who possesses the resupply perk. I suggest giving many of them a look, seeing which ones you like and which ones suit your playstyle, and giving them a buy during your games. Tip number 3 is utilizing the movement system. The rolling and shoulder swapping mechanics in Rogue Company are very useful and once again often overlooked by newer players who think this game is Call of Duty. Crouching, jumping, rolling, and swapping your point of view are all handy in gunfights, and when used will increase your chance of winning these fights by 38%. Tip number 4 is knowing and using each character's abilities instead of just ignoring them. All characters have their own unique ability. Some rogues can throw poison on the ground to damage their enemies, and some can snap their finger, which for some reason can reveal enemies even through walls, which makes no sense, but that's not what we're talking about. Finding a rogue which has an ability that caters to you and your playstyle is crucial and can make the game 10 times funner. Plus, some of these rogues do have very useful abilities that can drastically improve your chance of winning a match when used. Tip number 5 is baiting enemies. When knocking an enemy, instead of just ending their misery, leave them to suffer in agony so a teammate comes over to help them. Then, down and continue the cycle until you win or die yourself. There are some instances where downing an enemy and then finishing them is useful, like if a Saint or Dahlia is healing them, but other than that, use that downed, helpless enemy to your advantage. Tip number 6 is rotating around the map and not playing in a stagnant manner. If you're stuck behind cover and you have enemies who know where you are, a good option is to get out of there and either rotate behind the enemy and kill them, or maybe just to the side angle, get some shots on them, and just get anywhere where you can catch them off guard and get some kills. Tip number 7 is using a headset if possible. Just like Fortnite, Rogue Company has some pretty good directional hearing, which allows you to pinpoint enemies just on their footsteps alone rather than needing to see them. But this utility can only really be correctly used with a headset, because playing the audio through your TV won't have the same effect. So if you do have a headset available for use it. Tip number 8 is flanking. Hitting the enemy head-on is always useful, but if it isn't working, switching things up and sending a player or two to go flank behind the enemy is the way to go. Having a roguelike Lancer makes doing this a lot easier and can even aid your head-on push, as the enemies now need to focus on enemies from both in front of them and behind them, which makes their job so much harder and your job so much easier. Tip number 9 is simply teamwork. Whether you're playing this game solo, alone in a dark room with red LED lights and a bag of Doritos, or with a group of friends, communication is always key. As a group, you can obviously hook up your headsets or get in a call on Discord or something and chat that way. Or if you're alone, doing something as simply as using the ping system built into the game itself is useful and will help you tremendously. Finally, tip 10 builds upon tip 9, and that's callouts. Calling out enemy movement, downs, and pushing the point is all super important if you want your team to be on the same page instead of running around like headless chicken. This also allows your teammate or yourself to not run in situations blindly, which in the end prevents death. That is my 10 pro, amazing, godly, and awesome 10 tips that are awesome, that'll help you get awesome at Rogue Company. If you did enjoy the video and or found it useful, be sure to leave a like rating, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching my video, and hopefully I'll be seeing you in the next one.